So, sorry, I'm not on the very front here. Okay. So for my lesson plan, mine was done for first grade. I chose how plants grow. I don't know if y'all can see that. I also attached it for y'all. Um, for mine, the materials and procedures. For the materials I chose for the whole thing was, of course, the books, um, pencil, paper, magnetic letters and trays, picture and word cards for sorting blends and vowels, sight word flashcards, and letter cards. So for my high frequency word review, um, the words I chose through this book were here, is, look, this, help, out, will, when, that, and are. There's a lot, I'm sorry. For this one, I chose the magnetic board and letters and sight word flashcards. The procedure for this one, I wrote down before using the magnetic letters. I would show the students their sight word flashcards. They will see it, say it, and then spell it with their magnetic letters. Then I will place the sight word flashcard in front of them and ask them to recite the word. As they say the word, they will run their finger under each word to make each sound. And for the letter identification, I only had one just because they're in first grade, so I'm not going to say they should know, but the bulk of them will know their letters. So this one I did the long O, the long vowel, the O, because that word is throughout the whole book, grow. Materials is a long and short vowel card. And the procedure was to show them long and short vowel cards and ask them to tell you if they are long or short of sounds. And for the book introduction, the book title and level, how plants grow, and the level was E. So I think that's about the third month into first grade, somewhere around there. So I wrote here, today I would explain that I was going to have them read a new book to me. The title of the book, I would tell them how plants grow, and I would also inform them that it was nonfiction. I would also ask if any of them could tell me what it means for a book to be nonfiction, I would let them know the book is about how and where plants grow. I would ask them all, do any of them know how plants grow? And of course, I'd wait for their answer, each of them to answer. And then I'd ask them to go through the book, to look at the pictures and see how and where these plants grow. So the meaning, the gist of the book, this book is about how and where might be plants grow. For this one, I asked the students to turn to page 2 and 3, asking them to find the word growing. I asked them to take a look at the picture and tell me how they can tell that the plant is growing. And if it wasn't growing, how would we tell the difference? How would the plant look if it wasn't growing, like it obviously is in this picture? So for the structure, the tricky book language, going back to that word growing, I would ask if any of them can tell me what it is we're doing when we say those first two letters in the word growing, which is a blend. The other word on the page, the same page as plant. So again, I'm sorry, the structure continued. I would ask them to turn to page 4, and I would ask them to look at the words inside and outside. I would ask them if they notice how these words are really just two words put together, in inside and out inside. They're really just joined to make one word. On page 9, I would have them look at a second word, or another word, sorry, which is two words put together, which is another, which is an and other, placed to create one word again. On page 10, I would ask them to find another combination word of sunlight, which is sun and light, And then after that, I'd ask them to look at the pictures throughout the book and find the pages with the bolded letters. And I would also ask them if they knew what it meant that those letters were bolded. Most of them already know that it's vocabulary. So I would have them turn to the back of the last page, which shows the vocabulary of flowers, seed coat, seeds, soil, and sunlight. I would also go over these words with them in the book, just because it's still kind of tricky because they may not see them all the time. They know what they are, they just don't see the words written down. But ocean, another, part, break, begin, pop out. I would probably ask them if they knew what it meant. If the word said pop out, what does that mean? Embryo, not many kids will know what that is. Or how to read it. Food storage, grow, stem, leaf, and root. For the visual, for that part, I would just, same thing as the beginning, sight word review. I would ask them if they can remember the words that we went through in the beginning before the book introduction and see if they can find the sight words that we discussed with our first activity. And going down to the new book discussion. For this one, I know it asks, what did you just read? I would ask, what can they say that they learned from reading this book today? When it asks what you learned, because it is nonfiction, I would ask, try to make real life connections, and ask if any of them have ever grown any types of plants or they know anyone that has grown plants. Most of them would probably say a grandma or grandpa. And I would ask if they have or if they've seen anybody do it, ask them how do they care for their plants? What do they see them doing or what do they do to care for these plants? The comprehension, for this one I added a comprehension activity in that. This was parts of the flower because my book did have like a diagram of the flower. Materials, I put pictures of a plant cut up in 4 pieces, which is the flower, stem, leaves, and root. The activity, I would provide them with the pictures of the parts of the plant and ask them to place it in the correct order to recreate that plant. I will discuss each part of the plant once they have finished. So I would explain to them, the flower is a part of the plant that makes the seeds. The stem acts like a plumbing system to move food, water, and nutrients from the roots. And how the leaves help capture sunlight to also help make food for the plant. And the roots act like a straw absorbing water and minerals from the soil, acting as an anchor so that the plant won't fall over or blow away, and also can store extra food to be used at a later time. I didn't just want to give them the little diagram and then not explain that to them, what each part does. So for the teaching points, for the print concepts, I chose reading left to right and one-to-one matching. The reason I chose that was even though they are first graders, this is something that I still see emphasized in second grade. I've seen teachers reminding the students, remember what good readers do. We read from left to right. We use our pointing finger and one-to-one word matching, just so it becomes a habit. And it kind of helps with, I guess, the fluency as well. The instruction, I chose to explain how good readers use their index finger to read from left to right, word by word. For the word solving strategies, I chose, like, if they were stuck on a word, which they may be on this book, look for familiar word families or chunks they know to help solve the word, or covering up the suffix and tap out the base word. So for the words like growing, even though we discussed the long O and the blending of growing, because the ing there, that might be kind of hard for them to read. So if they cover it, that helps them, like, I guess, like the running start kind of helps with that. Also, the words in and outside, the word they, if they know the word the, so they just add that Y, and I might help them read they. Same thing for sand and for forest. For the fluency, I just put activate prior knowledge, which is what do I already know about this. So not most, I'm not going to say most, because we can assume that they all have had plants, but if they know a little bit more about what they read and you're activating that knowledge, I figure that will help them once they get to reading that book. Once they know that what they're about to read, about what they can expect. to see when it comes to talking about how plants grow. For the comprehension, that one I just put summarizing what we read. And that kind of tied in with the little activity that I put for the discussion before that one. And for the interactive writing, the sentence, I chose 2 sentences for this one because I thought it would allow them to work with blending 2 words put together to form one, sight words, similar word families, and long vowel sounds. So I chose a sentence, plants grow inside and outside, and they need sunlight and water to grow. So for the phonemic awareness activity, I chose blending sounds to read words, plant, grow, flower, break. The material for it, I chose the letter cards, word cards with blended words. And the procedure that I had for this was to show the students each letter card and ask them to make each sound that they know. Remind them that with blending words, the 2 letters are keeping their sounds when read. And for the phonics activity, I chose, again, emphasizing on the long O and short O vowel, explicit instruction on the long O and short O vowel and how it looks when you talk. Have the students say which you are demonstrating when you say each of the words. Remind them that long vowels say their names and short vowels only make part of the sound in their name. Show them long and short vowel word cards and ask them to tell you if they are long or short O sounds. And that was it for mine.